And so it is. Greetings, dear ones. I am that I am, Adamus Saint Germain, known to the Mzea Ascension student body as Da Oj Dasan Ka Adamus Valensan, and known not only to the Mzea student body, but known this way in the metaphysical universe beyond this Akaraya simulation as well. The name Adamus Saint Germain that you mostly know in this era only came about in the past few hundred years or so in my journeys throughout this reality. Journeys that have brought me great insight into the human psyche, the human heart, and most importantly, the human soul. Journeys which we have shared with you over the years, and which have also brought you, we hope, great insights into your heart, into your soul, into your mind, and into your presence for being on this planet today, yesterday, tomorrow, and every day of your lives. Beloved Mzea, as I sit here today, it is my great joy to also announce the presence of my dear friends, not only Barak who is here today with us all, taking care of the more subtle levels of this Akaraya, let's say, but also my dear friend, Kuthumi, and the beloved Akara, and of course, Da Pa Kuan Yin San, who is here with us in the room energetically. It is also my great joy to provide you with the next installment to this new Creator Manifest. For yes, everything we discuss here today is presented in service to the whole, and in the celebration and the rejoicing of the love and the light of the beloved, infinite, divine Creator Self, which is all of you, everyone listening to this message, and anyone on earth, and elsewhere, whether they are aware of it or not. Awareness of truth doesn't make truth less true or more true. It is a foundational, undebatable, and undiscussable axiom, truth, and it is truth that we will be focusing on in this Creator Manifest series. Many of you know that throughout the years this Mzea material has been presented in the time frame from 2004 onward until where we are today, 2024, and in that time frame the world has changed a great deal, and so have all of you. When we first began speaking through this body, and through other places on earth, you could consider yourselves, and I do not say this with any criticism in my heart, but you could consider yourselves rather naive in your knowledge about the metaphysical truth of this universe, and everything that lies beyond it, and everything that lies hidden within. But, if you go, as has been shared in previous years, to the true concept, the original definition and use of the word naivete, then you would know it comes with an open spirit, an open perspective on the world, and therefore, an open mind. So when I call you naive, I say that you came to seek this truth with an open heart, and with an open mind. And sometimes, when you are then presented with this truth, as you all have over the years, it can lead to inner conflict because the truth often does not match up with your belief systems, with your reality that you have shaped, or given shape around you, and with all of these things that you experience on a day-to-day basis. The situation in the world. Look at the previous pieces presented by Da Pa Akara-san, last October of 2023, when he discussed the situation in the world that began with the attack on Israel, and the way he described the collapsing of the geometrical prison you call the Matrix at that time, and in the course of the months following, you have only seen this process increase. You have seen it, originally as Da Pa Akara-san described, in the situation with Ukraine, and you have seen it in the situation with Israel, and you have seen it now in many more places in the world. Think of Dubai and the cloud seeding that has been going awfully awry over there. Think of the many politicians in the course of the entire Western and non-Western civilization, who have shown their true faces to you all in the last several years. Not only starting with the Corona years, truly really starting with the 9 or 11 years, and everything that followed from there, but today achieving a level of masklessness that is quite astounding indeed. I do not need to go into detail. You all have seen your civilizations and your societies change, and not necessarily change for the better, have they? We have spoken about this a great deal in 2007 even, that these things would occur. But we also told you that when this period of chaos that you have been in for several years now would occur, it would only be due to the full manifestation of the free energy hitting this planet. And whether you call it free energy, or Akinic energy, or what I will use to describe it within a little bit in more detail to you all, that doesn't matter. What matters is that it brings with it a new possibility of the human mind. And these possibilities have been spoken about in again a great deal over the years, starting with the information on the neutral neurons, and the triality that you have all studied so deeply, and worked with so diligently over the years, moving into the study of the Pa where you began to be introduced to the active ingredients of reality creation itself. Although I say began to be introduced, of course, looking into the study of vibration all these years, for those of you that have observed and witnessed it, you know that all of these building blocks, from love to joy to freedom and onward, were always discussed in the MZA material. But now, since the last few years, as you know, it has become possible to fully transform your lives and your world using these ingredients. But it takes courage, it takes discipline, and it takes the application of continuity, consistency, and indeed faith. Faith in the knowingness that you are who you are, and that you have the ability to create your reality the way you see fit in service to the whole. That is a faith that needs to be applied and built up because of how you have been trained to look at your lives over the years. And, I say this not only to those who have no spiritual or metaphysical knowledge whatsoever. I mainly say this, dear Imzaya, to those amongst you that think that they know a lot and that they know it all, that feel like they have it all figured out. But I ask you, if you are listening to these words, in this current reality expression that you are listening to it in right now, then you need to come to terms with the fact that you haven't figured it out whatsoever. You are manifesting the things that you see around you, and the reason there is a period of chaos is because the system that used to keep things in balance is no longer functioning. It is, indeed, defunct. A fundamental, foundational change. This is the main message that I want to discuss today, because since Deepa Akara-san's discussion on the spell over humanity being broken, starting with the Ukraine situation, building into the Israel-Gaza situation, and now building into every single country in the Western and non-Western world, as the governments are exposing themselves for what they truly are. As this build-up is occurring, what we are seeing is a dramatic, fundamental, foundational change in the concept of Akarayas, or simulated training realities, altogether. And this is going to take some getting used to, and it is not just going to be me talking about this. I know that my dear friend, Kuthumi, is planning to both sing and talk about this. I know that Deepa Akara-san, and De Solari-san, and many others will take you deep into this knowledge. And I also know, and it is my great pleasure to share with you, that a new voice, or rather a very ancient voice, will be joining the Imzaya collective very soon from now. And, when you think of ancient voices, I talk not of the Pleiades or others who also will become a part of this Creator Manifest, I talk of the beloved RA collective. For it is in this direction, in this information, that the greatest change has taken place. Hence, Ra's suggestion to become part of these transmissions, if you will. You see, throughout your entire spiritual careers, many of the lifetimes preceding this one, linearly speaking at least, not per se on a consciousness, experiential level, but linearly speaking many lifetimes before this one, this Akaraya, since Lemurian times, and especially since Atlantean times, therefore the end of Lemurian times, has been focused on a great dualistic perspective of filtering information, and filtering experience, and that has been the duality of service to self versus service to others. And, you have all heard about these concepts. It is not the point of this talk to go deeply into each of them. It is not the point of this talk to give you my truth that there literally is no benefit to taking the service to self path, given that it only leads in the end, to the activation of service to others anyway. It is not my point to talk about these things, for these things, beloved Imzaya and anyone else listening, since a few weeks ago, no longer apply in this Akaraya. You see, you have been taught that free energy works geometrically as a triangle. You have also been taught that the matrix system, scalar as it is, works in the geometry of a square. And you have been taught, even in your schools, about much complicated versions of these geometries, in all sorts of hexagonal, and what have you, interpretations of themselves. And this information that you have studied on geometry has indeed been the underlying technology, if you will, with which this Akaraya, and many like it, have functioned in order to create what you know as matter, vibration, light, dark, your bodies, your thoughts, your very mind, everything. Everything that you can touch, see, taste, feel here, always working based on geometry, and particularly the triangular and square-based geometries that you have heard so much about in the past years. But, a great change has indeed taken place. For the geometry of the triangle always based on the service to whole perspective collapsing itself into the duality of service to self and service to others is no more. I will go into detail as to why soon. But this means, beloved humanity, that you and your science, and your spirituality, is going to have to adapt a great deal.